Hello everyone, welcome back to the Human Reviews channel. Today I am listening to Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown. This is an album I've been meaning to listen to for a while. This album came out in 2016. It is 15 songs, 46 minutes, and it is one of the most highly praised albums of the 2010s. Fantano gave this thing like a 9. People online think it's even better than a 9. Some people have it as the best album of the 2010s. So I am very interested to get into this. I have heard one song off of the album that was sent in on one of my streams. I have heard Tell Me What I Don't Know, which I thought was very good, but I haven't really re-listened to it since. So, yeah. I am very intrigued going into this. Yeah, this is the first hip-hop album I have covered on this channel. Yeah, I've been meaning to branch out into different genres, not just doing the rock and the metal that I've been doing. We started that with the previous reaction, which was Songs in the Key of Life, which is now a Canon Human Reviews 10. And we are starting off the hip-hop reactions with what I'm assuming is going to be... my guess for my score on this album is going to be a high 8. I think I'm going to either give this album a very high 8 or a low 9. That is my prediction for my score on this album, because the one song I've heard is amazing, and this thing is praised to all hell, and this is one of the times where I think that an album that gets this much praise isn't going to be ass, okay? With that being said, I'm just going to get straight into it. Track 1, Downward Spiral.
I'm sweating like I'm in a rave. Been in this room for 3 days. Think I'm hearing voices, and it's the downward spiral. Gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out. 'Cause it's the downward spiral.
It's a very interesting open to this album. Danny Brown, obviously one of the most expressive, unique vocalists in hip-hop today. The sound of this is absolutely wild with these, like, crazy sounding guitars with all these weird, like, echo effects going on. The sound of this is really strange, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I think this is doing a great job at setting the really weird tone of this.
Hennessy straight, got my chest like a furnace. Drowning frustrations in the ocean of sin. Thinking irrational, I have no emotions.
The production is indeed very good. So transition? Yeah, great transition. Okay. That was much, much different to what I expected. That was, like, the weirdest opener imaginable, but in, like, the best way possible. That was the strangest, most, like, unexpected way this album could have started, and I think it works incredibly well. Production is fantastic. The really weird, echoey guitars that just sound like nothing. They just sound like nothingness, I guess. But they also are doing a great job at building a very specific and unique tone to start this off. Danny Brown, again, he is one of the most unique vocalists in hip-hop today. Like, this guy's voice is absolutely wild. He's doing a great job at, like, portraying this, like, being in a downward spiral, like, I guess, losing his mind or whatever. That was so strange, but it worked so well. It is, like, about as good of an opener that I could ask for. Give that like a 9.3. That was great. Yeah. That was absolutely ridiculous, weird as hell, and I am very intrigued to get into the rest of this. Next track, a song I have already heard. It's been sent in on one of my streams. Tell Me What I Don't Know.
Little nigga getting fronted from OGs. OZ or Reggie bagged up in the pelly. In the school hallway on the burnout celly. Leaving out of class early, caught a sale for 20. Got my nigga on the way to get a swisher. Breaking down the weed when the call.
God, the production, wow.
We were so ambitious. County writing letters, I miss you. Tell me what I don't know. Look, Ray came through, kicking down the front door. Now, tell me what I don't know. 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 Breaking down the weed when the call got received. Tell me what I don't know. Good grade came through, kicking down the front door.
Nice transition as well. Yeah, that song, it's just as good as when I first heard it, when it was sent in. This, this album is much more, like, low-key than I was expecting. Based on the album cover, and based on the name Atrocity Exhibition, I expected this album to be a lot more, like, aggressive and fast-paced than it is, but it's surprisingly very low-key and stripped back. And I really like that. It's, like, so unique in its, like, in its sonic environments that it builds, I guess, and its general sound. It's just so interesting. I'm struggling to think of things to say, because this is so different to what I went in expecting. Like, I've obviously heard that song before, but I didn't expect, like, that to be a thing throughout the album, or at least the first two songs here. Yeah, that song's still great. I'd still give it like a flat 9, I think. It's still just as enjoyable and as memorable as when I first heard it. I don't know, can't really say much about it because, you know, I've already reviewed it before, but yeah. Up next we have Rolling Stone. Blood's Flabbergasted? Yeah, I wasn't expecting this album to be anything like this.
You know I'm in my zone, so don't speak to me.
Happiness went upstream. Blame myself, had no control. Now I'm living with no soul. I'm on a road that never ends. Don't know opposite of sin. Some people say I think too much. Loving it up with no bites.
Oh, that bass line, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is more of the sound I was expecting from the album. It's much more immediate, and it's much more, like, I guess... I don't know if I want to say fast-paced. Not particularly, like, fast-paced song, but yeah, it's definitely much more immediate than the previous tracks. This is more of the sound I was expecting, and... yeah, the sound of this is great so far. The bass line on this song is absolute gas. It's so good. Great feature from Petite Noir as well.
Alone, getting high, I feel low, but we all know life goes on.
I'm living like a rolling stone, but will I ever find my way? I'll go back to the beginning.
Nah, Fade Out's kind of whatever. Yeah, Fade Out was kind of mid, but that song was very good. That was a little bit closer to the sound that I went in kind of expecting from the album. You know, more immediate, less stripped back, more like, I don't know, I guess denser elements with like a much clearer structure. Which, the songs being a little more unclear and a little bit more random wasn't a bad thing on the previous tracks. But the sound of that song was definitely more what I was expecting. It still isn't anywhere near the level of intensity that I was expecting from the album. As it's just so odd and like just so out there and insanely different to anything you would expect from Danny Brown, especially after hearing Scaring the Hose and how just ridiculously insane and intense that album is. Go into this, it's like such a wild change of pace. That song is fantastic. Bassline is amazing on that one. Instrumental as a whole was great. The feature from Petite Noir was absolutely fantastic. Him on the chorus was like, I don't know, he worked perfect on that song. I give that one a... That's probably my favorite so far. I'm honestly feeling like a 9.5 on that song. That was great. Right, up next, down, we got a stacked feature list on this one. Up next, we got Really Though with Kendrick Lamar, Ab Soul, and Earl Sweatshirt. This is about to be fire, okay? That vocal layering is so good. This, okay, this is absolutely amazing, right? Okay, firstly, this beat is so good. The bells sound fantastic. It's so, like, silly and goofy and ridiculous. I love it. Then Kendrick Lamar comes in, okay? Now listen, it's the most basic opinion to say I love Kendrick Lamar, but when this man comes in with the best vocal layering you can imagine over the most, like, gas beat ever. This song may end up being my favorite on the album.
You haters could go to hell when you're getting money, nigga. Every day is sunny. I'ma act an ass on that donkey, let her pull my ponytail. Second grade, took my mama well, rounded me for like a month.
I love the writing too.
But now I'm a writer with ambition. I wish a motherfucker would.
They say I got the city on fire. I ain't booming, that's a goddamn lie. Whoa.
Kendrick has the worst verse I am though, everyone else went in. I don't know, Kendrick is working fantastically on the chorus here. I think this chorus is amazing.
Life is like an appetite of truth and dare.
Oh, he has a verse, okay.
Watch out for the love lost. Bet 1,000, shoot 1,000. Things a nigga do for thousands. Made 1 million counting sheep. Gave it all to public housing. Taking off the Abu Dhabi. Beaming up the motor Scotty. Talking to promoter Scotty. Everybody knows Scotty. Insurance good. Pussy insurance. Hey, look what I'm doing. Hey.
Yeah, I will say I'm not liking this as much as like the other verses that have been on the track so far. It's still very solid though. I mean, Kendrick Lamar still brings fantastic lyrics, an incredible performance. His flow is great, and he just works very well over this beat in general. So while I do agree that I don't think it's as good as the other verses that we've had so far, still pretty great.
Hey.
Wish a motherfucker would, Brown. I had to put my foot down. It's like I'm popping a clutch. Your hate palpable, your jaw full of dust. You gon' keep talking or we locking it up. Ain't argue enough. I keep it dirty as a split. My uncle Alchemist puff. I strike a birdie on him.
Yeah, this verse is very good. The switch up in the drums is so good as well here.
You gon' catch me on a, why you got your couch on my chucks? Motherfucker, fucker, fucker, fucker.
Oh my god, that transition is so good. Firstly, that is like the best lineup of features ever, right? That Kendrick Lamar, Absol, and Earl Sweatshirt, all three of them, they were cooking on this song, okay? Kendrick Lamar on, firstly, his verse, while it was probably my least favorite of the 4 verses on the track, it's still very good, and then the chorus is amazing. Absol and Earl Sweatshirt was my favorite of the two, but both of their verses were also incredible. The beat was fantastic. It only had one minor switch up in the drums at the end, and that was enough to keep it feeling fresh throughout the entire song. That was so well written. It was so well paced. Genuinely speaking, I'm feeling a 10 on that song. That was very, very good. That was incredible. I don't imagine any song is going to end up topping that. That was, wow. That was, very, very good. That was very good. Okay. Next track, Lost.
I'm like cool brick with 2 bricks and hoes on the strap.
Do I like the feel of the song? I gave it a 10. What do you think?
Black screen porn on, watch your ass a killer. Nothing long but my pinky ring sniff when I get cutting up the hole like the yard ain't
I don't know what the hell this is sampling, but it's working so well as like a backing vocal thing. It's so weird, but it's so cool.
for myself, you can start when I count.
Oh my god, they're just the old ass instrumental as well. Sounds like a sample from like the 30s or something. It's, oh my god, that works so well. You almost spent $1 million on the samples on this album. $1 million well spent. This sounds incredible. Yeah, that was like really great. He's still in debt. He's still in debt for the samples. Listen, he may still be in debt, But at least he was able to get some good ass samples for this album because wow, that was absolutely incredible. It's not the most impressive song on the album so far, sure, but it's really well put together. The sample is incredible, writing is great, solid ass performance. It's just a really great little 2-minute track that works very well after the previous one. I give that one like another flat 9. Up next we have Ain't It Funny. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is this? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, really though has competition right now. That beat, I was not expecting that. That jump scared me, but that went so hard. Production, immaculate. That is so good. It's so filled out and so aggressive and in your face. That is I am at a loss for words. That is so good. Nice drip t-shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing an I Pooed t-shirt, okay? That is gas. That is fire.
I can sell honey to a bee, and a full-time matrix take back the lead. Octopus and a straight jacket sack with bad habits. Broke siren fiends, got rich, became an addict. Ain't it for no way to mass it. I became has-beens. Rolling up the $100 bill till they can't.
That saxophone sample is everything to this beat right now. Oh my god. It has like the insanely thick bass. The 808s sound fantastic. But if that saxophone is the thing that makes this beat so unique and so incredible. That, oh my god. Oh, and those synths. Oh my god.
Ain't it funny how it happened? Upcoming heavy traffic. Say you need to slow down, cause you feel yourself crash. Staring in a double face, but you can't stop laugh. Staring in a double face, but you can't stop laugh. Ain't it funny how it happens?
We on transition? Wow, oh my god, amazing transition. Listen, I went into this album knowing I would like it. Wow. That song is actually scary though. Glad Danny's actually gone to rehab now. Yes, the writing on this album, I've not been paying much attention to it, but when I have been paying attention, the writing has been absolutely fantastic. Firstly, best instrumental on the album so far. Hands down. Easily. That was so good. That, like, jump scared me when it first came in. And then it was just, like, the most incredible, well-produced, insane... Bro, that can go toe-to-toe with any instrumental in any hip-hop song. The sample, the saxophone sample is amazing. The way it like sort of dips out in the chorus and then it just comes right back in the verses is so good. My only complaint about that song is I feel like it could have been maybe like a minute longer. That is the dumbest thing I've ever said. This song is the perfect length and it is a 10. When my only complaint about your song is that I want more of it, it's not that big a complaint. Next track, Golddust.
Let's suppress these felons, trance and heaven, licky devils get the best of me. Nigga, what's the recipe for a good time? Whole lot of liquor while you doing coke blind?
Transition? Yeah, transition. Right, I'm just going to cut this part out completely because I completely disagree with what I originally said in the video. I originally said that it was one of my least favorites on the album, and the original score I gave it was like an 8. Upon re-listening to the song, that has grown to be a 9.6. I think it is one of my favorites on the album, and I don't really know why I didn't click with it as much the first time around, but yeah, it's one of my favorites upon re-listening. Up next we have White Lines.
Smoke so much I think. Drink so much I think I make you walk the plank. Bitchin' on my rank. I'm high. Oh my, yo bitch. It's in the jolly getting in the thigh. Now we on the road. When the roses out, you better hide your house. You know how we go. She chose, we roll. Uh-oh. She in the room taking off her clothes.
Ah, okay. White lines, I see. He doesn't mean white lines like that. He literally means white lines. I understand. Okay. So is this album just going through different, like, issue? Oh, hold on. It says my chat's disconnected. This album seems to be just going through different, like, issues in Danny Brown's life. Like, he's talking about being on a downward spiral on that previous track, Golddust. He's talking about, like, throwing away money. And then on this one, he seems to be talking about, like, drug addiction. I'm guessing that's what the running theme of this album is it's bouncing between a lot of different issues that are affecting him in, obviously, very negative ways. I think that's a very interesting concept for an album. Just literally bouncing back and forth between different issues at different points in his life.
Control, pop another round. I'm top, fresh out. Oh no, I feel a little tangle in my toes. Now I'm on the prowl. Made 30 bands in.
Nice transition. I'm going to start with my biggest problem with that song, and it's that it's definitely too short. I wish that one was, like, at least a minute longer to, like, flesh it out a bit more. It was still, like, really good for the short length that it was, 2.5 minutes. But I feel like it definitely could have been longer, and I feel like it would have been more effective if it was longer. Still, I think that song was very effective and one of the better written songs on the album. The beat on it was solid, not my favorite, but it was still, like, nice. It's still insanely well produced. Yeah, I feel like my biggest problem with this song and the last song, though, are that they just could have been fleshed out a bit more. I'd give that one a... I'd give that one... I feel like that is probably my least favorite so far. I'll give that one like an 8.7. I don't know. I feel like had it just been fleshed out a bit more, I would have ended up enjoying it like even more than that. Still, it's a great song regardless, but I feel like it just could have done with being a little bit longer. Next track, we have Pnuemonia.
Made 30 bands in 30 minutes. Before I count it, I done damn near spent it. Put a brick on ya and some brick on one. If that coke burn my nose, I'ma complain. Made 30 bands in 30 minutes. Damn near spent it. Put a brick on ya and some brick on one. Flow sick, nigga, call it pneumonia. I'm on ya. And she celebrate like the world ends. And she can't be my girlfriend. Only fuck her on the weekend. Mama found some racks and some dirty change.
I will say I'm not the biggest fan of like the fake out build up. It was interesting the first time around, but I feel like the second time around I wish it did go into like a more like an intense moment on the chorus here. I don't know. The first time around it worked really well, but the second time around I don't feel like it works as well.
Go and throw a bag like I'm snatching purse. Have a key to run inside my fucking purse. Like a surgeon with that scalpel, bring that truck to life. Before I count it, I done damn near spent it. Put a brick on ya and some brick on ones.
Great transition there. Okay. That song had one of the most interesting beats on the whole album. One of like the most, like, oh, definitely one of the most interesting instrumentals on like the entire album so far. But I do wish it switched up. The first time it did the fake out build up, I thought worked very well. But the second time, I wish it actually led to something, because it just felt like, okay, you've done the fake out twice now. What's the point? I feel like I really feel like having it go into like a more intense, crazy moment after the second build up would have honestly even improved the first one, because it's like a payoff for the first one being a fake out. I don't know. I just wish it like switched up a bit more. But besides that, still very well written. Danny Brown gives one of my favorite performances on the album so far. And the beat itself, despite the fact that it doesn't switch up, is still one of my favorites so far. So I would give that track a flat 9. Alright, next track we have Dance in the Water. What's this a sample of? I think I've heard this. I've heard this sample before at least.
Shake it, don't break it. Bend over and touch your toes. You been waiting, you been waiting. Well, man, get down on the floor. Dance in the water and not get wet, not get wet, not get wet. Dance in the water and not get wet, not get wet, not get wet. Ain't you wearing it? Let me see you just get it. Get busy, get busy. Back it up and just quit playing with me. You can do it like that. Can I hit that? Can I hit that? Like a champion boxing title man. Dance in the water and not get wet.
Okay, this instrumental is one of my favorites so far. Oh my god, this sample in the background, I don't know what it's from, but I recognize it, and it's really bugging me that I can't put my finger on where it's from. This is going so hard right now. Oh my god, this is absolutely incredible. Where like the two previous 2.5 minute tracks didn't feel fleshed out enough. I'm only a minute and a half into this one, but I feel like the shorter runtime is actually kind of necessary for this one. This is working really well. This is probably going to end up being one of my favorites.
Dance in the water and not get wet, not get wet, not get wet. Bring it back now, back. Got a fever, got a fever. I'll live it against you and I need ya. Hey, your monster, hey, your creature. Hey, I try you up there, eat ya. And not get wet, not get wet, not get wet.
The transitions on this album are all like amazing. That song is one of my favorites so far. I love how ridiculous and just outrageously goofy the vocals on the chorus were there. I love the sample. I can't put my finger on what the sample was, but I've heard it before and it's really bugging me. Again, production's still fantastic. Danny Brown gave possibly my favorite vocal performance on the album so far. That is absolutely going to end up being one of my favorites. Like whenever I come back to the album, feeling like a 9.8 on that one. That was great. That has since grown to be a 10. Right, next track, From the Ground.
8 bars with a safety pin. I deserve the finer things. Told myself back then when I used to ride a Schwinn. Now I'm on a tour bus going places I ain't never been. The results going back, so I won't go to sleep till I finish that. Cousin if that anyway, now I see better days. Takes if you want anything. Got me missing sleep cause my mind on the beat. So while I'm counting bars, y'all be counting sheets. It's a cold world, but even hotter when you got some no tries to do.
Oh my god. Yeah, this feature from Kalila is absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, these backing vocals are great. This is reminded me a lot of like some of the earlier songs on the album where it's like less intense and aggressive and more focused on building an environment and being more low-key and subtle. And it's doing a great job of it here. This sounds great.
Well, no brain.
I'm guessing it's going to transition. Yerp. Yeah. That I actually didn't mind like the really short length of that track. That was only like 2 minutes and 18 seconds. I actually didn't mind that. I feel like the track like got everything it needed to across in that short amount of time. The Kalila did great. Like the feature was fantastic there. I think the instrumental again was reminding me a lot of like the earlier songs where it's less focused on intense being intense and aggressive, and it's just more low-key and subtle, and I really like that. Yeah, that song was solid as hell. I'll give that one a 9.5. Might have watched the new Bob Marley movie? Probably not. I'm not that interested in it. Next track, When It Rain.
You put the trust when guns gon' bust. Living every day like it's the end. Just waking up feeling like a sin. Gotta keep an eye on all your friends. Cause everybody hungry and no streets. Signing them shots be lit. Lighting up squares and them dots be red. Let your best friend get shot in the head. Dick. Oh, you ain't know that. When it rain, when it pour, get your ass on the floor and play me soft. Glock sign on your face, dog. No baseball. Better run home. Exodus, I might forget. Bitch, when it's time for your West, we do. You ain't heard it like this before. They don't do it like this no more. They get on that. They get on that. They get on that. Top on the flop. You ain't heard it like this before.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh, that did such an incredible job at building. Oh my god. And then when it comes in, oh, bro. That is one of my favorite moments on this album so far. That took like a minute and 20 seconds to build, but it was so well paced. It built so well. Oh my god, dude.
I'm like Bangarella with that blade. Kid don't play when I catch that fade. Shoot a whole party up with them K. Shot down when we had a DJ. That Detroit shit, you're around Bisco. Many what them goes be like. They call slipping, your West be hurt. That's for certain, your West be hurt. Young niggas out there.
The energy for the last two songs have been great, yeah.
Hold it in the rain when it pour, get your ass on the floor now. Oh, you ain't know that. Better duck when you hear them gunshots go off.
I love the panning on that. That's so subtle, but it's so cool.
Oh, you ain't know that. Better rain when it pour, get your ass on the floor now.
That is a contender for my favorite song on the album. I'm legitimately feeling a 10 on that song. The way that song built was incredible. One of the most unique and out there instrumentals we've had on the album so far. It was just so odd, but it works so incredibly well. Best vocal performance on the album so far, hands down. Easily the best one so far. Easily. It is so tough to pick that and Really Dough as my favorite song on the album so far. It's like neck and neck between those two songs. That was amazing. Like, genuinely, that song is a 10. And we're already down to the final 3. I've been recording for an hour. This has gone surprisingly quick. I thought I would be recording for like 2 hours. I've only been recording for an hour. Next track we have Today.
Watch who you ram. Gotta watch they mouth. When them guns come out and them shots ring out, you know what they about. Snakes in the grass getting trapped by rodents. Poke and we smoking, I leave the choking. Hoping you focus so dogs take notice. For a flashlight when you're off like roaches. Make a nigga feel like he listen to blues. In the hood with that arm and hammer. Getting them pampers for baby mama. Happening yo. Today. I say you never know when your time to go. I say you never know when your time to go. So damn right I do today.
I feel like this is the first point on the album where I can say the weirdness isn't really working for me. I feel like the very like the abstractness of this song and just how odd it is, it's not really working that well here. I feel like the overall sound of the song is still like decent, it's still solid. But I feel like this is the first time where I can say it's just a little too much, and I feel like it could have been either filled out a bit more or stripped back a little bit.
Today. Nigga fit body like every day. Nigga masked up like masquerade. Bruce every day, nigga take this fade. Or get marked out like crossword game. Today. I say you never know when your time to go. I say you never know when your time to go. So damn right I tell you.
Okay. Is it gonna transition? I'm guessing it is. It did. That song, as it went along towards the end and they added more little elements, actually did kind of grow on me. I feel like with the little bits and pieces that it was adding, I started to get a better picture of what the song was going for, and it started actually working a lot better for me. It's still my least favorite on the album so far, and I probably would return to that one the least. But I actually see its place on the album a lot clearer now that I've listened to the full track, and I think that it is a genuinely very interesting piece here, and one that I probably wouldn't skip if I was listening to the full album. So I think I'll give that one a flat 8. Yeah, that one grew a lot. It's just probably the one I would return to the least. Alright, next track we have Get High featuring Be Real.
I'm blowing on some miles, something kinda blue. The kinda dope you swear can make dreams come true. Sticky icky nugs.
Where have I...
Real fur.
I've heard that somewhere. Hold on a sec.
I'm blowing on some miles, something kinda blue. The kinda dope you swear can make dreams come true.
I don't think I've heard this song, but I've heard that before, that vocal line. That's really bugging me. I've heard that somewhere and I can't put my finger on where.
Torching up the purple, got me spinning in the circle. I'm Coltrane on so plain. Hit the greenery, Jaws go Gillespie. Half a nigga shaking like he got epilepsy.
Say you had a bad day and want the stress to go away. Just roll up and take the pain away and get high. And get high.
Check. But your daughter got New York. Your landlord knocking. Her girl cock blocking. Dealing with this butt shake. Smoke up on a constant.
I love the lyrics here, where he's basically just talking about getting high to avoid all of his problems. It's done in the most interesting way possible, with like the most weird, like trippy sounding beat that I guess is supposed to sound like what it's like whilst he is high to avoid all of his problems.
Today, smoke it to the face. It's only for a moment, but the troubles go away. Problems are today.
Every morning I wake up, first thing I roll up before I get my day started. First I gotta bake up and get high.
I got a transition? Actually didn't. Huh. Yeah, that song was probably the weirdest song on the album so far, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that the strange, trippy sound of that track was fantastic, especially when paired with the lyrics about him talking about just being high to avoid all of his problems and not have to deal with them. It was really well written. The feature on the chorus from Be Real was really great. I feel like he worked perfectly on that track. I probably wouldn't return to that one as much as a lot of the other songs, but I still think it was very solid. I'll give that one like a 9.2. Alright, next track, final song, we have Hell For It.
Holy Spirit, when I look, I cannot see reflection in the mirror. I broke back with the Judas and I think I see it clearer. A pinata, but rocker with the product. Used to hide it in my closet. Type of shit that have a fiend crawling on his carpet. I heard I wouldn't make it. I was writing shit that was so damn amazing. Why have these little niggas was there watching that so Raven? I was out there hustling. I'ma give them hell for whatever it's worth, my nigga. I'ma give them hell for it. Unless death come first, my nigga, I'ma give them hell for it. Cause we living in that. Activists, double cups, was addicted to that. Had them demons on my back, was escaping
apologies for that. We're stepping stones in my life, hot coals, walk with me. Listen when I speak, every time talk with me. Couple screws loose, you don't wanna start with me. Got a G, cause these songs that I write leave behind my legacy. And I'ma give them hell for whatever it's worth, my nigga, I'ma give them hell for it. Unless death come first, my nigga, I'ma give them hell for it.
Okay. And that was Atrocity Exhibition. That song was an absolutely incredible closer. It did such a great job of tying together all of the themes of this album. With it, it's basically him saying this album was him sharing his experiences with you in an attempt to stop people from making the same mistakes he did. And then he's talking about him just wanting to be an artist and him just not caring about things like radio play and trying to better himself in terms of not caring what people think of him and the music he makes, which is such a great way of wrapping this up. It's such a a powerful way to tie together the themes in a moment of the first moment on the album where you see genuine massive growth. I guess it's meant to represent a turn for the better in his life, marking a point in which he decides to make positive changes. That is one of my favorites so far. I give that song a 9.7. That was such a good way of ending this album off. Wow. Yeah, that was Atrocity Exhibition. I went into this album kind of already knowing I would enjoy it. The one song I had heard off of it, Tell Me What I Don't Know, is fantastic. This album has been praised to hell. It was just one of those albums that I went into it knowing I'm at least going to enjoy it. And honestly, my expectations were kind of exceeded. I ended up liking this thing even more than I expected to. This is one of the most consistent, enjoyable, wild, unique, just strange hip-hop albums I have ever heard. The reason it works so well is because of Danny Brown's incredible lyricism, the amazing production, and the fantastic features that he was able to get on this album. Every single feature did absolutely incredible here. Real quick, I am going to add up my scores, and then I am going to tell you what my overall score for this album is. Yeah, that sounds about right. I am feeling a 9.3 out of 10 on this album. It's great. It's really good. It's solid as all hell. It's fantastic. One of the most enjoyable experiences you can have with a hip hop album, honestly. And I imagine this thing's only going to grow with repeated listens, picking up on more things in the lyrics, actually going in knowing what to expect from the sound. I feel will lead to even better experiences listening to it down the line. And that is going to do it for Atrocity Exhibition. Let me know what you think of this album down below. If you have heard it, do you love it? Do you hate it? Why? Make sure you like and sub. Our goal is 1,000 subs by September. Join the Discord if you want to interact with me on there and the community. You can talk about music and movies and stuff on there. And just generally talk to other people who watch the channel. Check out my gaming channel if you would like to see me play some games. I don't use it that often, but I want to start using it more soon. We're going to be playing stuff like God of War and Spider-Man 2 on there soon. So make sure you go over there and check that out when we do. yeah, check out the other videos on my channel. We have recently uploaded a video on Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. We've listened to like the entire Radiohead catalog on here, and we have even more reactions to come. So yeah, make sure you check out the other stuff on the channel. And yeah, I will see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Goodbye.